But the latest that's coming in from Srinagar, Pakistani flags and Lashkar-e-Taiba flags have resurfaced in Kashmir after the Friday prayers in Srinagar near the Jamia Mosque. That's the big story that we're breaking here on Headlines today. Supporters of Mirwais Omar Farooq, the moderate Hurriyat leader. Now, the supporters clashed with police against the house arrest of Mirwais yesterday. 2 days back, Pakistani flags were waved in Srinagar ahead of Mirwais' proposed rally. Authorities did not allow Mirwais to hold a rally yesterday in Srinagar. He was placed under house arrest, but reports seem to indicate that this time not just flags of Pakistan but also banned terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Taiba were waved outside the Jamia Mosque in Srinagar. This after a series of incidents where separatist leaders and separatist cadre, close to separatists, they've been waving Pakistani flags. This time it's Mirwais Omar Farooq supporters. Earlier it was Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani supporters, and before that it was separatist leader Masarrat Alam supporters who were waving Pakistani flags. Headlines today is Ashraf Vani joins me with the latest. Ashraf, take it away. Tell us what's been happening after the Friday prayers near Jamia Mosque in Srinagar.
Yeah, Gaurav, absolutely. As you are seeing in the visuals, that the Pakistani flags were once again displayed in the Jamia Masjid area of Srinagar after the Friday prayers. Basically, the supporters of Mirwais were expecting that probably Mirwais will come there, but he was put under house arrest since yesterday. He had the plans for the mega rally yesterday in Srinagar Eidgah, but that was foiled by the authorities and he was not allowed to do any kind of rally in the Eidgah Srinagar. Today, his close supporters as well as his other supporters after Friday prayers staged kind of a protest near Jamia Mosque. They waved the Pakistani flags and chanted the slogans in favor of Pakistan. It is very now common affair here in the Kashmir Valley. Wherever we say the separatists are going for any kind of rally or any kind of protest, they are waving the Pakistani flags. The interesting thing is that the defense minister of the country is on the 3-day visit of the state, and he is just now in the valley, and he is going to meet the state governor, the state chief minister here in the Srinagar, and tomorrow he will be meeting the top brass of the army here in the Kashmir Valley. So, in the presence of defense minister in the valley, this kind of situation is some kind of embarrassment for the state government as well as for the coalition government, which is run by the BJP as well as by the PDP.
I want to bring in our Deputy Editor Defense, Shiv Arur, for more on this story. Stay with me, Ashraf. Shiv, there are reports that indicate that this time it's not just Pakistani flags but even Lashkar-e-Taiba flags that are being waved, and this is open sedition, even as you have the Mirwais under house arrest and Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani seeking an Indian passport.
And Mirwais Omar Farooq, a couple of days, Gaurav, clearly was visible at that particular rally where the Pakistani flag was clearly visible. So this isn't a mistake by any stretch of imagination. This has been happening nearly continuously over the last few days of this event by the Hurriyat to mark the death anniversary of Mirwais' father as well as deceased Hurriyat leader Abdul Ghani Lone. Now, it isn't just flags that are being that are being displayed of Pakistan. Like you rightly said, flags of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Lots of slogans that can only be interpreted as anti-Indian and seditious are being chanted at these particular rallies. Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, who's in the news separately over his passport issue, has obviously endorsed everything that's actually happening, because remember, just 2 weeks ago he was in South Kashmir at a rally where again flags of this kind were shown. The Masarrat Alam issue, where he was at a rally where Pakistani flags were openly displayed. This is becoming chronic. The kind of message this sends out is we're going to continue to do it because the state has no power to interfere. They don't have the guts to tell us what to do.
That's a very important point you're raising, Shiv. The state does not have the guts is the impression that is going out. And now you're seeing stone pelting being reported from parts of downtown, tear gas shells being hurled at the stone pelters. And once again, Ashraf, is this like a regular Friday afternoon event in this particular part of Srinagar, or is the situation taking a turn for the worse? Ashraf? We'll try and reestablish that link with Ashraf Wani in just a moment, but Shiv Arur with me on this. Shiv, as we see these pictures of stone pelting and tear gas being hurled in this part of Srinagar, this is clearly isolated to one pocket of Srinagar, but this also is extremely dangerous and shows the weak will of the state to crack down on these separatists.
Absolutely. It shows a sort of shaky will to send out a strong message, for this kind of thing. It's not like the state hasn't been faced with this kind of thing in the past as well, under earlier chief ministers as well, under earlier dispensations in Jammu and Kashmir as well. So it's not like this is a message specifically going out to the PDP, BJP government. But this has been happening for so long without any state interference or any strong message actually going out that it's become par for the course. Now, those dramatic images we saw of tear gas being fired, the security forces actually coming out to try and, get the situation in order is a dangerous cocktail, Gaurav. You've reported from there. Yes. I've reported from there. You know what the atmosphere can be like at times like these. When separatist slogans are being chanted, it's an extremely volatile atmosphere already. And that is perhaps one of the reasons why the state has always been sensitive about trying to interfere too directly, during moments like this. But the fact remains, under law, the hoisting of the Pakistani flags, the chanting of those slogans can only be interpreted one way, and the truth remains, like you just rightly pointed out, Gaurav, the state has refused, it has chronically refused to send out a strong message, and that has spawned perhaps the fact that groups like these are totally emboldened. Yes. And now with all the media attention that these flag hoisting events are getting, obviously they're getting bolder and bolder. We expect to see much more of this happening in the next few days and weeks.
Shiv, stay with me. Ashraf Wani has once again joined us with the latest from downtown Srinagar, from the Jamia Mosque area of Srinagar. Ashraf, is this isolated a regular Friday afternoon event, or do you read more into this stone pelting and tear gas shells and Pakistani flags being waved and a weak state response?
Gaurav, today it was some different occasion. Basically, the supporters of Mirwais were angry against the administration as they were not allowed to to carry out the rally yesterday in Eidgah Srinagar. And for 2 days, Mirwais was put under house arrest. That is why these supporters of Mirwais were so angry, and they not only hoisted the Pakistani flag, but even did the clashes with the police, which is always present here. It is a day-to-day affair, particularly on the Friday in the Jamia Mosque area, but today the supporters of Mirwais were prepared for the clashes with the police, as they were not allowed yesterday to move out from the houses. The whole area was put under the surveillance, and as well as the police were put in place in downtown area, so they could not do any kind of violation or any kind of clash yesterday with police. And today they have found some time after the Friday prayer to carry out these kinds of protests and clashes with the police in downtown.
And this is isolated to one pocket of Srinagar. Whole of Srinagar is calm. Tourists are okay, or is this spreading beyond downtown?
Gaurav, basically downtown is only settled with this kind of these clashes after the Friday prayers in Jamia Masjid. But so far the other parts of the Srinagar are calm. And as you are aware that the Mirwais is the Mirwais of the Jamia Masjid, and he has the base and supporters there. Not only him, but even his father had a strong base in downtown area of Srinagar, and that is why the supporters of Mirwais always come out whenever there is any kind of obstacle or any issue, and they come to support him. But as far as the other parts of the valley are concerned, they are normal, and tourists are in the big numbers so far coming to Kashmir Valley from last few days.
Ashraf, do separatists have support of people of Jammu and Kashmir? Is there fear that incidents like this with repeated Pakistani flags being waved will deter tourists?
Basically, during last, it was not any kind of affair. It is ongoing things in the Kashmir Valley. Basically, but also the life goes on. There are people who are doing their work. There are tourists who are coming to Kashmir, and basically, the one thing which has been seen for last so many years, the tourists are not being any kind. Anyway, being disturbed by the protesters also. We have seen many kind of suicide incidents, many kind of protests, but one thing which has come from the valley is that the tourists are never being targeted, and this is being seen even today. Basically, most of the population in the Kashmir Valley is associated with the tourism, so they could not try to do that thing that will hamper the economic activity of the Jammu and Kashmir state. But these things, these protests, it is an ongoing affair. But today, as I mentioned, it was the day when the Mirwais was prevented from the rally yesterday, and that is why this anger is being seen among the supporters of Mirwais in the downtown area of Srinagar.
I also want to bring in Shiv Arur for more on this. Shiv, this is, while it may be isolated only to the Jamia Mosque area, the downtown area of Mirwais Umar Farooq in Srinagar, this has the potential to explode into something bigger if the state government does not show will and resolve. And sadly, all through we have seen the absence of that will and resolve.
Absolutely, Gaurav. You couldn't have actually put it, better than that. Remember that this is not this is not an isolated incident. B, there is a context to what is happening. There are Friday prayers that have just gotten over. The slogans are happening. The flags have been raised. Not the first time. In the last few days, they've been raised for a while now. The people and the groups raising these flags are already angry about the media attention that this has gotten and the adverse comments that some people have made about what's happening within the state on the outside. Now, part 3, there is already a sense of disenchantment and irritation within the Hurriyat at this point of time, with the politics being played over Syed Ali Shah Gilani's passport. So combine all of these things together at this point of time, and you've got a cocktail, of anger and resentment already brewing at this point of time, where tempers are short. Those indulging in this seditious behavior are already extremely angry, and perhaps very close to resorting to violence, which is probably why you can hear those shots of tear gas shells being fired. A certain sense of tension already prevailing in the downtown Srinagar area, as Ashraf just pointed out. It could be isolated to just that particular area, but the fact that security forces have been deployed appears to suggest that there has been a response. There is a certain amount of a threat perception about what may or may not happen, and that's why those forces have actually been deployed at this time. Not unusual, but definitely something to look out for, especially since those flags are also being raised at this point of time in downtown Srinagar, Gaurav.
Ashraf Vani and Shiv Arur, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. When this question was put to Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, he in fact is in Srinagar even as we speak. But yesterday at Aaj Tak Manthan, when this question was put to him, let's listen to his response on Pakistani flags being waved in parts of Srinagar.
Okay, now in case Pakistani flags are being waved in Jammu and Kashmir, how should the government deal with such a situation?
I think before government deals, the media should stop showing them.
But does that take away from the fact that the government needs to crack down on such anti-national elements in isolated pockets of Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir?